Welcome to Halifax in the A. Garnick Gymnasium on the campus of Mount St. Vincent University for the third and final game of this MWBA Showcase weekend here on Maritime Athletic Profiles. It's the number one team in the league. It's the Halifax Thunder coming into this game 4-0, taking on the Fredericton Freeze, tied for second coming into this game at 2-1. Good evening, everyone. Alongside Taysa McKenna, Vince Williams on hand. And Taysa, this two teams coming into this game, it's going to be a battle. Fredericton from New Brunswick, Halifax from Nova Scotia, but this Thunder team has been a juggernaut since game number one for the rest of the league. This will be a test tonight versus Fredericton, seeing them for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anyone that was in the gym to watch Halifax Thunder and the Hornets earlier last week, they saw what they could do. Everyone coming off the bench is a weapon, but that's not to say that the Fredericton Freeze aren't also ready. They got a slew of talent, a lot of them representing UNB. So we know that the talent is there, and I expect this to be a very high caliber game.
It should go back and forth, and man, boy, oh boy, we have some players that have done a lot in their basketball careers, and they have done it on the biggest stages at the biggest moments. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. There's a reason I'm not out there competing. I see Justine Colley, I've seen Laura Langell, I see Eva from UNB, and it's just a battle out there. You know, I really give credit to anyone that's younger stepping onto the court, knowing that they're going up against former professionals, former national team players, some that could maybe even hit to the WNBA. So, you know, I really give credit to the younger generation out there playing.
So we'll send it over to the public address announcer for the starting lineups. Tip-off coming up here on Maritime Athletic Profiles.
Time to meet your stars.
starting lineups introduced here at Garnet Gymnasium for both of these teams, and we'll just go over the starting lineups real quick. The Freeze, they'll go with Bailey Black, Katie McAfee, Nicole Essen, Grace Simpson, and Emily McLeod. For the Thunder, they'll counter with Ellen Hatt, Haley McDonald, Justine Collier-Legier, Grace Wade, and Laura Langell. So it's the Thunder and the Freeze, and we're underway as the opening tap controlled by the Freeze. And the Freeze numbers on these jerseys are very difficult to read right off the bat. I'm not even going to lie.
Well, Brad Janes designed there, founder of the MWBA, designed those jerseys.
They are tough as there's a little freeze in the numbers as Black opens up the scoring. Beautiful possession here by the Freeze. Collier-Legier off the drive. She'll get inside. And she's bumped on her way to the cup, and she'll go to the line to shoot two. Justine Collier-Legier. Let's just get this out of the way right off the bat. There's a lot of accolades I'm going to have to go through throughout the night to mention the things that she has done in her basketball career.
Yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, she's got a couple AUS championships. I think she's got a bronze medal and a silver medal at the U Sport Championships. I believe she is in her NSSAF Sport Hall of Fame. I think that only took 5 years after she graduated. She probably could have been in there in the middle of her playing career. National team player, and the accolades go on. I mean, I don't have a list in front of me, but you can look her up and you'll get a long list there.
Yes, 12 points per game. That's 8th in this league. She is a two-time, as you mentioned, AUS MVP, All-Canadian, a 5-time AUS first team All-Star. She is the leading scorer in the AUS with over 2,000 points in 5 seasons. She'll make the steal here. Go back the other way. And she is in the top 100 all-time players in U Sports history. Backdoor passes. It's a beautiful delivery.
Yeah,
for Langell.
And worth noting, Thunder actually has 2 on that U Sport Top 100. Catherine Quackenbush, her teammate here at the Halifax Thunder as well, so we'll see her soon shortly, I'm sure.
Jumper's no good. Haley McDonald gathers the rebound. And McDonald, no slouch herself, continuing her playing career. Took a year off to coach Horton High School, her alma mater, and she'll go back to Len Harvey and the Acadia Axe women in the upcoming U Sports season to finish out her career in her 5th year.
As a fan, you want to see it, but if I'm on the opposing team, I'm a little nervous. She's going to come back bigger and better than what she even was when she finished.
And she's going to join her battery mate, Jada Vino, who's coming off a MVP-type season and an All-Canadian campaign, leading the Acadia Axe women to the national championships. As Collier-Legier crashes to the floor, she is fouled. And that'll go on Essen. So that'll be her second team foul.
The athleticism on Collier-Legier is just undeniable. I couldn't see her over the screen until she elevated and almost touched the backboard on that one.
She'll inbound it to McDonald. The Freeze will play a man-to-man right now. McDonald, left hand, that rims out. Gets it back, and McDonald's bumped in the act of shooting, and she'll shoot 2. This evening's officials, Shauna Poirier, who made the call, Paul DeBailey, and the crew chief, Brent Stocker. As McAfee will pick up her first personal. That rims out. McDonald, a prolific free throw shooter. Doesn't miss many from the charity stripe, and she'll knock down the second. Holds the record for U Sports in single game scoring. 51 big ones in the semifinal at the Subway AUS Women's Championships.
I was there. I was in the stands. You talk about her shooting. High percentage from the free throw line, but she can step out to, I believe it's the volleyball attack line, and shoot it comfortably. So we got to get a hand up, got to chase her off the line, and then you got to deal with her in the paint too, making some decisions.
3 ball is pure on that shot by Grace Wade.
playing against some of her former UNB teammates out here as well.
Good pick and roll. Bottled up though. Settled for the jumper, no good. Chases it down, second chance opportunity coming up. Here's McDonald, crossover. Throws up the air ball, tries to run it down, and she does. She'll throw up the three though. That's a little strong. Lange will try to keep it alive, and she'll be called for the foul. And just to finish up on Haley McDonald, as you were in the stands, I was trying to check my voice because I called every 51 points of that performance.
I don't know how you did it. I've gone back and watched it a couple times, and the great thing about Haley is that she's scoring in such a variety of ways, right? She's at the foul line, she's at the three, deep three, she's floaters around the rim, she's up and unders. Her ball handling skills are impeccable, so how do you stop her? I'm not sure, and then when you line her up with her teammate Jada Vino, yikes. It's a tough matchup for any team defending both of them.
As Yosemite is into the game for the first time, and she's also a teammate of Vino and McDonald. She's coming off a second team all-star performance, as Lizzie was outstanding for Len Harvey and the Axe women.
Yeah, absolutely. There's Haley right now.
And Haley knocks down the three. Just a quick trigger from downtown.
So quick, and you know, she's not the tallest player out there, but you know, she has such a fast release that it is really hard to defend.
5-point lead for the Thunder. Haley picks it off. She'll cross over. Tim one. Back to McDonald for three. And McDonald knocks the back-to-back threes, and that'll force a timeout called by the Freeze.
No, you have to. Again, back to that Haley McDonald three-point shooting ability, letting her back-to-back, starting to heat up, and we're still very early in the first quarter. Can she go for another 51 today? Who knows?
Well, we're all going to be witness to it here at the A. Garnet Gymnasium here on the campus of Mount St. Vincent University. The first two matchups this afternoon coming into the nightcap. Some great basketball between those four teams, and you could just see the maturation of these women as we go along, as the season goes along, as they find their footing in a brand new league, in a highly competitive league. And you like to see that game after game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know we probably all looked at the score of the Hornets and Fog matchup, and I had a chance to talk to Coach Belding afterwards, and she's missing two juggernauts in the backcourt, Courtney Thompson and Reese Baxendale, and you know that plays a pretty big factor. She's going home to have some pizza and a little bit of a bite to eat there, and trying to figure, you know, what do I do to better prepare going into tomorrow's game? But it's not to say that the level of compete wasn't there, right? So it's just a few corrections from her side of things as a coach. And I think the earlier game, I was out in the hallway watching it on the screen, and you know, I think it was a 9 or 10-point game. I know the Mystics are looking for their first win, but I got to give credit. There are 9 moms on that team. I think they said 17 kids in total running around in those gyms, and you know, they're still ultra competitive, and to have their kids in the stands watching is unbelievable.
It's so important to have that type of element and have those types of range of athletes playing at the same level and competing. And there's that respect. There's always going to be that respect, you know, level when it comes to the competition, and it was displayed in both of those games, despite the score.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, seeing the rosters out here, it's a bit of a mix and match, right? You get a mixture of U Sport CCA players. Some have never played against each other, and they're just learning. And I think that's one of the things I was really excited about with this league. What can a younger player learn from an older player who's maybe a little bit more meticulous in their approach to the game? So I'm sure as the games go on, we'll see some of their intelligence be passed down to the younger generation, and the athleticism from the younger ones carrying up to the older generation.
And I think that's the idea of this league.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's so great to see, and I know there's lots of stories to be told yet.
Lots of basketball indeed. This one and 3 more. It'll start at 11 a.m. and continue. The second will be at 1 and 3.
Live streaming all 3 of those games. Again, shout out to Maritime Athletic Profiles for making this visible to the country, and Aurora Productions out of New Brunswick as well.
McDonald will bring it over the timeline, and McDonald, she'll draw the foul. She'll go to the line to shoot 2. Haley McDonald coming out very aggressive this evening for the Thunder. And that's on, I do believe that foul should have been on Megan Arsenault. That's her first. 14 foul. She's checked into the game for the first time. Here's Arsenault. She'll bring it over the timeline. Being closely guarded there. She was trying to fight off Marley Kerwin. Kerwin plays for UNB, so there's that UNB connection once again.
Yep. Yeah, fun fact about Marley and Lizzie out there. They were on a Canada Games team that Jalen Skier and I coach, so it's really neat to see them out there competing.
Yes, Lizzie plays for Acadia under Len Harvey, and Kerwin under Jeff Speedy in UNB. Two fine programs. All the programs in the AUS and U Sports around the country are just outstanding. Not enough credit given to Canadian university basketball and small college basketball as well.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think just back to, obviously we've been through 2 years of COVID, the amount of time that the coaches really put in to make the season as meaningful as possible, even when they were losing games and practices. And so you saw coaches getting into the gym, just getting shots up with players. And so just such a huge shout out to all the coaches and assistant coaches that stuck with the players who were probably having a really tough time not being able to compete. So yeah, the across the country, we were just doing such a great job, and I think we just need to keep elevating the game on the men's and women's side.
It's great to be back in the gym and have some very knowledgeable and emphatic fans in this venue as we continue on, as we anticipate the championships. That weekend is going to be outstanding as well, and they'll take place at St. Mary's University.
Yeah, down at St. Mary's University. I know Halifax Thunder has it as their home venue, and they had a packed house, I think about 2 weeks ago, versus the Windsor Edge. And so it's just so exciting to know that we're going to be playing on a university court. I think we're going to bring out the second side of the bleachers and try to fill it. So if you're from New Brunswick, you're from anywhere in Nova Scotia, if you're anywhere outside of the Maritimes and you want to come down, it's going to be a great weekend, 3 nights.
Anywhere you could possibly be in the HRM, it's a ticket, a hot ticket, and one that is money well spent.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know right now we're working on naming the trophy. We had a call out to the community to submit some names. So, you know, a couple of names thrown around will be the Savoy Cup or the Joyce Slip Cup. And so just acknowledging the past that really has developed the game for the women's side to where it is today. So look forward to seeing what the name of the championship trophy will be. And again, that will be coming straight from the community who's submitted some different name options.
So Tumway's shot unable to fall, but the Freeze able to chase it down. They'll continue this possession. 3:15 remaining. They're trailing 15-6. Couple substitution here for the Freeze. As Grace Simpson will check back. And Caitlin Mangold for the Freeze. Here's Arsenault, tried to find the teammate. She'll throw it into the Thunder bench. As Arsenault will check out. And coming back is Katie McAfee. Collie Legier over the timeline. Good entry by the Thunder. Skip past the Collie Legier. Last touch by Justine. She goes crashing into her bench. Kerwin comes up with it. Under 5 to shoot. Desperation heave. And that misses everything as Ellen Hatt tried to draw iron. And that's a good defensive sequence there for the Freeze.
Absolutely. Going back to, you mentioned Justine crashing into the bench. I think we need to acknowledge, you're in a league where you're not being compensated. It's not part of your university, and you're diving into the bench. And it's not just her, right? Every athlete's compete level it's through the roof, and really something I think the fans are really enjoying.
And they can appreciate. We've mentioned that on the previous broadcast between Port City and the Hornets. The compete level was there despite the score. Port City didn't give up. And you had a conversation with Coach Belding, and you know, they were shorthanded, and they were shorthanded by a lot.
Yeah.
Because when you take away those two players, you're losing a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at, I think Courtney Thompson is pretty close to winning an AUS championship. I think she was an AUS MVP. Reese Baxendale was definitely on the AUS all-rookie team and has been to nationals twice. So that's two pretty big misses when it comes to just handling in the backcourt and game decision-making as well. So I think that Port City Fog is in great hands. They have excellent coaching staff, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they rebound coming into tomorrow's game and then leading into the rest of the season.
Three's no good. Had a good look from distance there. Was Katie Daly unable to get it to fall. So Mangold will be called for the foul. And that'll be the 5th team foul. They'll be over the limit. So the Thunder will shoot free throws the rest of the way.
You mentioned Katie Daly. I believe three Daly sisters are playing in the league with Kelsey and Robbie as well. So it's really neat to see different family members. I know we're looking at Megan and Leah Corby, who again, they're sisters. I had a chance to meet Megan a little bit when I was deciding whether to go to Lakehead or not. She was actually a point guard out there, and I have a sweater that she actually handed down to me, and she passed along her number to me, number 6. So it's really neat to see, again, those stories from this league.
Legier Colley called for the reach, and she thought she was off to the races, and you could see there was a look on the face of Katie McAfee of like disbelief that I got lucky here because I got the ball stolen.
Yeah, you could hear it in the fans too. Right, we're looking for a little bit of showtime from Justine at the other end.
Here's Daly off the screen. Jada Vino into the game for the first time, the reigning AUS MVP and All-Canadian. And Justine Colley Legier sacrificing the bodies you mentioned, no compensation, picking up the charge.
Oh yeah, and anyone who hadn't seen Justine play before, she's excellent at drawing charges. So I'm not surprised to see her drawing 1 or 2 per game. So if she's in front of you, you got to give up the ball and you got to slow your momentum down, or she's drawn that one on you for sure.
The 4-time AUS scoring record and champion. She has the record for the single season average at 28.3 points per game.
Wow.
And that's a league record that still stands.
Wow. Yeah, I think Haley was probably pretty close to possibly breaking that. Let's see what she brings next season. She's got 1 year left to knock Justine off the, I guess, podium, if you will. But it's a tough stat to crack.
It's going to be very difficult. Nice finish off the glass there, as Daly's able to get it to go. Here's Colley Legier. Pass on the baseline as Langell unable to convert. That's off the side of the backboard. McAfee now. She'll hesitate, trying to find Daly. Poked away there by Vino, and possession will stay with the Freeze.
Yeah, it's exciting to see Jada Vino on the court tonight. She hasn't been able to play in the last couple of games, so I had a chance to talk to her in the doorway over there, and she said, a little bit nervous. And I said, I think that's a good thing. People want to see you play. So a little bit of nerves, a little bit of excitement, and I'm sure as she just kind of catches her rhythm here and flow with her own teammates, she'll be in fine form. I have no doubt about that.
And I'm just going to mention, like, how does this help her game going back to university, along with their teammates in McDonald and Beals Oshemi?
Yeah, absolutely. I think any current player that's going back to their respective U Sport and CCA teams, the hope is that they can gain development not only from playing, as in like their physical ability, you know, whether it's improving their shooting, their ball handling, their defensive decision making, but also from the knowledge of the game. And so I think that will be the biggest transfer, is what can I learn from these teammates that maybe I haven't been able to learn up to this point, and hopefully I can learn it during my off season and then apply it with my team next year. So I think every player is in a really good position to look even better than what they currently are going into the next season.
Invaluable, invaluable, invaluable indeed, as Vito is fouled right at the buzzer. So Jada was making her way back to the bench area. Didn't think she got fouled, but there will be a conference between the crew chief, Brent Stocker, and Paul DeBailey. And that'll be 3 free throws for Jada Vino. So not the finish at the end of this quarter for the Freeze. As Vino, one of the top free throw shooters in the country. I was going to say AUS, but her percentages are so good, it's the country. So she'll have one more with 0.3 seconds remaining here in the opening frame. And as I said that, I jinxed her, and she goes 2 for 3. So 10 minutes in the books here. The Halifax Thunder lead it 19-10 over the Fredericton Freeze. And what we saw, we talked about the compete level. I mean, coming into this game, Fredericton knew there was a task at hand, and they didn't back down. Although it's a 9-point lead, it's not a 9-point lead where Halifax just did anything they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, you look at, like we said, the rhythm that Haley McDonald was able to get. I think she knocked down 2 threes, couple free throws. She's getting in the paint and making decisions that can help make her team knock down shots. So she's really the engine that makes the team go at this point. And so I think as the Freeze begins to settle in a little bit and starts getting into their own rhythm, they'll be just fine. And I know coaches getting after the officials a little bit out here today, and who knows what that'll, I guess, turn into. But I feel really confident again about the Freeze, and going back to the limited time that the team has to prepare, and they don't get to practice too much right now. And so, you know, you take a little bit of film, you review it, you get a practice, maybe 2, and then you're expected to show up here and compete and know everything about the team that you're competing against. It's just, it doesn't work that way. So I think that the Freeze is just going to get into their flow here in the game, and they'll be just fine.
And once again, how much credit that goes into the programs that they represent.
Oh,
preparing them for this level, knowing that there's limited practice time and limited prep time and scout time in between games.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the coaches are relying heavily on the athletes to bring their own knowledge onto the floor, right? They need to communicate on the fly. They need to talk about defensive transition. I'm not sure if many of them have offensive sets, so really they're relying on their own ability to read the floor offensively, to space it, to pick up on mannerisms from their teammates. And so I think you can say a lot of it is coming from, again, their development as youth, then their development at their university, CCAA, with their coaches there, and then just transferring onto the court. So I think in this moment, there's a little bit of a chance to try new things, make a couple of mistakes, and then coach each other on the court.
So the second quarter, just about to getting underway here, as the Freeze will have possession to start this quarter. Katie McAfee will inbound. She'll get it back, brings it over the timeline. Closely guarded by Kerwin. 3 ball, it's pure. Nothing but net. Great set coming out of that break for the Freeze as Daly knocks it down, and a steal. Kerwin tried to knock it away. She does. Gives it to McDonald, and that's quickly moved up the court to Simpson. Here's McDonald. Backdoor pass, and unable to convert on the baseline was McLeod.
Yeah, three-point shot, a steal, turnover, but then you get a stop defensively. I think that's what the Freeze wants to see, right? They want to gain a little bit of momentum, and that happens on both ends of the floor.
Entry pass as McDonald draped all over her opponent. She'll be called for the foul. That's her first team, as she tried to take on Emily McLeod. McLeod probably's got a foot on McDonald. McAfee now, closely guarded by Kerwin. Daly, she'll dump it inside. And getting bumped there on the baseline. Looked like she was in the act of shooting. Nevertheless, she was. That'll be McLeod. She'll go to the line to shoot 2. And this is the start that the Freeze wanted coming out of that quarter break. The first one's no good for McLeod. Second one coming up. And she'll go 1 for 2 on that trip.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe McLeod, some former Axewomen along with the varsity red as well.
That is correct. She's averaging 14 points per game. That's 6th in the league, is McLeod. Nice pass there. That's knocked away by McDonald. Here's Beals Ashimi on the drive. Cheeky pass there, no look pass. But McLeod getting back in transition, sacrificing the body, forces the turnover.
Yeah, you say no look pass, and I talk to Lizzie all the time. Anyone that remembers her, she used to wear those shades inside, and I used to tell her, Lizzie, no one can see where you're looking, where you're going. And I keep trying to tell her, you got to bring it back, you got to bring it back. So maybe we'll see them in the future, but right now she doesn't have them on. I think she's gotten rid of them for the past 2 or 3 years now.
Here's McLeod trying to go to work inside. Turned over, and the Thunder will make their way back down the other way. Here's McDonald. There's Shemi Beals, and that's a nice no-look pass that's executed to perfection by McDonald between these two teammates at the collegiate level.
Oh yeah, they know each other well, right? And anytime Haley has the ball, everyone's turned eyes on her, which frees up everybody else. So Lizzie knows all I gotta do is run with Haley, and if she's not getting an open look, her vision, her court vision is unbelievable, and she'll find me.
Steal at the midway stripe as McDonald will pull up. Can't get it to fall. Good close out there by McAfee. McAfee now trips up, continues on. Can't get it to fall. Tumwanier, she'll give it out to McLeod back inside. Here's Ava, she's knocked to the floor, and these two have battled at the AUS level. They are no strangers to each other.
No, not at all. The physicality is there. I think, I know I was patiently waiting, like when's the foul call gonna happen? But the referees let them play, and I really like to see that, you know, obviously to a reasonable level, but we don't want every touch foul. We want people to have to battle a little bit, and I think it's, again, what the fans want to see and the players.
Helps with the entertainment product.
Yeah.
Like to have that flow back and forth.
Yeah.
And not have as many foul calls and interrupt the flow.
Yeah.
Nice drop step and left-handed finish. Abby Dunker has a sister who's very good at basketball.
Yes.
They played at Acadia University under the tutelage of Bev Greenlaw.
Yes, Mr. Bev Greenlaw. I think almost every player in Nova Scotia had been coached by him at some point, but Emma was my teammate at the 2005 Canada Games. If she's listening, I secretly wanted her to play in this league. I know she's got a lot on her plate. She's the new operations manager with Basketball Nova Scotia. I think they've got provincial championships going on, all that stuff. But I believe both Abby and Emma played professionally overseas. So that's just two of many, many pro players that are playing in this league. And hopefully we see either this league turn into a pro league or we start seeing one form in Canada.
Absolutely. Abby Dunker, AUS first team All-Star with the Axewomen in 2014. Played 97 career games with Acadia, averaged 12 points per game, appeared in 1 national championship, and as you mentioned, played professionally in East Perth in Australia, in the Australian League in 2017.
Is it that long ago?
2017, that's what it says. Let the record show.
It's the COVID years. It's the COVID years. They just blend together.
It seems like a lifetime. McLeod now. Gets inside, throws it back out to McLeod, and McLeod knocks down the jumper. You can just see she's got that inside-outside game.
Yeah, she has the ability to play with her back to the basket and then pull up just that mid-range jumper. I think it can extend out to 3 as well. But if I recall watching her play for Acadia, that was always a tough matchup for, you know, are you sending a guard to play against her, or do you need to send one of the post players? So it's tough. She's versatile.
Kerwin for 3. Kerwin, that's off the side of the backboard. Here's McAfee. She'll race down the other way with numbers. In transition, almost blocked. Making that block was Collie Legier.
If she had had that block, the gym would have went crazy. I might have gone crazy. It was good.
Daly tried to get it up and over, rushed it, but got her own rebound. An extension of this possession. Didn't hit the rim, and a shot clock violation. So the outstanding hustle and transition by Collie Legier. When things looked dire, they were on a 3-on-2.
I know. You could see her tracking it down, though. I mean, to me, I've known Justine to be someone who never gives up on a play, right, ever. So even if she wasn't there to get the block, she was there to probably gather that rebound regardless. So I just really appreciate seeing that again, especially in this league, especially for someone who has not played basketball in a period of time. Could have stopped at half court and just watched the play unfold, but she hustled back, challenged the shot, and now is giving her team a chance to come back in offense.
23-16 is the score. It's been back and forth. When things looked like Halifax was going to run away, the Freeze have had answers. Timely timeouts and timely possessions being called by Leah Bowers and her staff, knowing that this is going to be their first test in this league coming up against the Thunder. A highly contested game as the gym's starting to continue to fill up, and the attendance this afternoon and into this evening has been outstanding for a league that's relatively new, and the buzz and getting all, the media type of publicity.
Yeah.
How important is it to show that, these women can really play the game and that they're given a product that's entertaining?
Yeah, it's so important. Not only from the people that are in the gym watching, right? I think I don't have my glasses on, but I believe I see a Basketball Nova Scotia team over there across from us. I've seen a mega team here that Leslie leads. They're actually away in Montreal. And so to make sure that we have it on air, that was something we weren't even sure we were going to do, right? There's a cost to that. But in terms of the development of the league, to showcase countrywide that women should have a professional league, whether it starts with us or, again, if there's a league that just comes into fruition more broadly across Canada, we're here for it. And we appreciate every piece of support that we're getting, not only from the people that are in the gym, but I think after this weekend, we'll have over 10,000 views on YouTube of people watching, not only in Canada, but they have friends in the U.S., they have friends overseas watching. And I just have to give big shot there. I have to give all the credit to everybody that has come on this journey with us and took a bit of a risk with something that we didn't know anything about,
right,
from the players to the fans.
Without risk, there doesn't come a reward.
That's right.
As Justine Collie Legier knocking down a huge three. And a foul on the Thunder. Coming back the other way is Nicole Essen will shoot two here for the Freeze. Grace Simpson will come back for Fredericton. Essen can't get the first one to go. Second one coming up. 10-point lead. It's the largest for the Thunder. As Essen goes 1 for 2, knocks it down to 9. Collie Legier now. She'll bring it over the timeline. Three is nothing but net, as it looked like Jemmy Bullard, who just came into the game, she chased after that shot attempt. Didn't think it was going to go, but it was nothing but net on her first field goal attempt.
Yeah, back-to-back threes out here for the Thunder. Got to get a hand up and chase them off the line, but even when they do, it looks as though the Thunder's doing a great job at contributing when they're in the key, whether there's been a couple no-look passes, kickouts to other perimeter shooters. So again, just so many weapons, no matter who's subbing in, right? It's a really tough matchup for everyone.
So Bullard will be called for the personal, the Queen's University product. And Essen once again will go back to the stripe. She'll knock down the first.
Yeah, if the Freeze keep capitalizing here at the line, slows the game down a little bit, gives them a chance to talk to each other on the perimeter, and then they can see the ball go through the net, right? It doesn't matter how the points get up there. Of course, everyone likes the flair of things, but when they get to the line, it's taking their time and knocking them down, which Nicole just did.
Skip past Kerwin, try to find a teammate. That's turned over. Back the other way come the Freeze. Layup's no good. Second chance opportunity is there, though. Put back up and in as Bowers able to stay with it.
Almost gets another steal.
Bowers with the defense as they're in their 2-3 zone. The Freeze, good block there on the baseline. and Essence will come up with it. Looking for help. Here's Bowers. She'll bring it over. That's quickly moved by Mangold. Essen, step through on Hat. Can't get it to fall, and the putback is there by Simpson. So a little fight here by the Freeze. They go on a little bit of a run. They cut the lead to 6. Collie Legier is rejected there by Mangold. That's back-to-back blocks in consecutive sequences on the defensive end for the Freeze.
Yeah, I saw someone on social media saying Mangold should have the most blocks in the league this season. So let's see what she can do down here on the end as long as she stays in the game here.
Well, she's got a couple in this last minute and a half. Bullard gave up the 3, sent it over to Kerwin. She can't get it to fall. And a 1 and done for the Thunder. And the Freeze looking to get a little bit closer here. Here's Bowers, draws the double, floats it inside. Good catch there. Simpson bottled up, and she'll be called for the walk. A lot of contact. As the officials allowing them to play, and you said that's what we need.
Listen, if I was a player on the floor and I didn't get the call, right? I thought the call was coming, but as soon as you see the ref walking the other way, you know it's going to be the travel call. So as a fan, I love to see it. If I was a player, I would not be happy.
So a turnover forced by the Thunder. McDonald comes back along with Jada Vino. Langel's in there as well. Beals the Shemmy's out there. So you have the 3 Acadia Axe women on the floor together. Langell tries to go up and over. Beals Shemmy keeps it alive, tries to find Vino, and she'll throw it into the Freeze bench.
Yeah, if the Freeze can keep the score as is or get a little bit closer going into the half, they have to feel great about that. The way things are rolling with with Thunder's ability to knock down the 3, I think it was about a 12-point game, and it could have gone the other direction. So the Freeze, if they can get a stop here, should look good going into the halftime.
2-on-1 stolen there by Vino. Whip pass inside as Beals Shemi was almost blocked by Mangold. She'll draw the contact, and Lizzie will shoot 2.
Yeah, we got fans behind us saying, "Dunk it, Lizzie, dunk it." If she dunks it,
I'm leaving.
I'm throwing my mic.
I'm leaving. Yeah. I am leaving the gym. I know she's very athletic, but I'm not sure if she's ever dunked a basketball on a 10-foot rim.
No, I don't think she has.
Maybe on a 7.5. I'll give her that.
You know what, though? If not Lizzie, someone's going to do it. You look at the NCAA women's basketball team. You look at Fran Belibi for Stanford, who blocks a shot in the middle of the NCAA tournament and dunks it at the other end in transition. Women can do it.
Yes.
Haven't seen it here yet, but you never know. We got a couple youngins here in the stands that look quite tall. Maybe they start practicing with their hops.
Yeah, and in your American competitors, the WNBA.
Oh, yes.
Brittany Griner. And we just hope that Brittany gets back safe. She has dunked a few basketballs on that level.
Yeah, I think they said it's been 100 days since she's been detained. And so, you know, you look at the WNBA and the way that they support their teammates. You know, they reference her as a sister, and I'm sure it's a trying time for everyone, right? Her family and friends. And so hopefully she'll be released and we'll get to see her a little bit into the season. But yeah, it's scary, and you know, no one should be in that situation.
Right.
But of course, she's someone that people know. She's a sport figure, and so it's you just hear a little bit more about it. So hopefully she'll be out of there sooner rather than later.
As Black able to knock down both, and a timeout called by the Thunder as Parker Regan wants to talk it over. A 6-point lead for the Thunder, but they have been pushed, and the Freeze have been right there. A couple possessions here and there, not turning it over and taking advantage of the turnovers by the Thunder. It could be a tie game, or they could have the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a little over a minute left before they head into half. And you look at the speed of the game, right? With Thunder, it's a little bit more up-tempo. With the Freeze, they're trying to slow it down and be a little bit more meticulous with their decision-making. Hopefully they stick with that, because usually at some point in the game, one team forces the hand, right? And all of a sudden, the team that wants to slow it down is playing at a pace they don't want to play at. or the team that wants to speed it up is kind of moving like a snail. So we'll see what happens going into the second half. I know both coaches will have a lot to say about the pace and trying to put the pressure on the other team and try to get them to play in the style of play that we want them to play in.
Yes, you see the Thunder has a pace that likes to get up and down the floor. They like to get easy buckets, quick sets, quick hitters. They don't want to really get into their half-court set. They're very good at it, but they much rather get out and run and get those easy buckets in transition. On the other side, the Freeze, they're pretty good in their half-court sets. Take the ball up, walk the ball up over the timeline, and use their bigs and have those inside-out game come to fruition. Good steal out of the timeout as Arsenal will bring it over the timeline. Closely guarded is Arsenal. She'll try to get to the rim. She's bumped, and she'll shoot two. Great decision there by Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, again, getting back to the foul line, we're slowing the game down. We have a chance to give everyone a breather, put two more points up on the board, and just chipping away at that lead. So let's see if she can knock these down.
So Megan Arsenault spent 2 seasons at Lakehead University in Thunder Bay and 3 years in her hometown at UMB.
Yes, a little bit of love to Lakehead. There's a few Lakehead players here.
I was waiting.
I have to. Go Thunderwolves.
You mentioned it in the opening quarter.
Yes.
I had to put that one in there. And posted 180 career assists was Arsenal, a mother of 2 children. So she's mentioned the credit. You have those, you have that balance of mothers, and you have that balance of student athletes and young professionals all playing in a league where you can't really tell.
Oh, no. I think the only time you can tell is maybe it's a little bit of lateral movement. I keep saying if I was out there, I'd be the one saying, let's 2-3 zone, and I'll cover my space. I don't have the lateral mobility anymore to keep up with the younger players, but you can't, I mean, you can see the difference, but you can't see the difference at the same time. So again, it's just 2 different almost generations of basketball players that you're seeing out on the court, and they're learning how to play with each other.
And it's all appreciated.
Absolutely. It's great. Again, great for the fans. It's great for me. I have a good chuckle when I get to say, oh, I coached with that player, or I coached with that player. I coached that player. Oh, I played against that player. Maybe it's I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but Jasmine's been calling out our age on our Now's the Time podcast hosted by Haley McDonald and Ellen Hatt, and she said, oh yeah, a mom of 3, I'm 33 years old. I'm like, Jazz, no, don't tell people, because then when we step on the court, they know not to expect too much from that mobility space.
Alongside Taza McKenna, Vince Williams on hand. 54.6 seconds remaining here at the A. Garnett Gymnasium on the campus of Mount St. Vincent University. The third and final game in day number 1 of this MWBA showcase weekend here in Halifax.
Yeah, and it's a big switch, too, from how the schedule was originally set up. We weren't going to have these tournament styles, but had to make a decision because of COVID, because of the delay in the AUS and U Sport. So our season got condensed, and we made this. And I think people really like it. I love seeing all the teams in one location.
Here's McLeod out of the timeout. Tough shot forced there by Beals Yashemi. And the possession will go over to the Thunder. McDonald now. That's stolen. Black back the other way. Here's Black to the cup. And Black got bumped there. No call. She was looking for a foul. Now McDonald will bring it over the timeline. Arsenault with the pressure. Langell back to McDonald. McDonald on the drive, and McDonald is knocked to the floor. Essen can't believe it. Arsenault can't believe it as well. But the way this has been going, the way they've been calling it, I didn't expect the call either. So the Thunder will inbound. McDonald will knock it down, and you could just see the chagrin on the Freeze coaching staff as McDonald wide open shot off the inbound.
Too comfortable.
Nice stretch pass to a wide open McDonald. Here's McLeod though. Under 5 to end the quarter, and Black was looking for the foul in the previous possession, got it this time down. So Beals Isiemi will pick up the personal. She's not happy, protesting a little bit, but she's always got that fire in her eyes no matter what the situation is.
Maybe that's why she's not wearing the sunglasses anymore.
She wants to show that she's serious, she's down the business.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I can't see the number, but that might be Daly at the line.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, see, that's the problem, right? There's Daly.
There you go.
Well, there's you can see better than me from this distance. Daly doesn't convert, as those uniforms have a lot of imagination in them, but nevertheless, 20 minutes in the books. The Freeze trailing this one, 34-25, as the Thunder will take the lead into the locker room. We'll step aside. Stay with us. You're watching MWBA Showcase Weekend here on Maritime Athletic Profiles. Welcome back to Halifax and the A. Garnet Gymnasium on the campus of Mount St. Vincent University in the final game tonight in this MWBA weekend showcase. The Halifax Thunder lead the Fredericton Freeze 34-25 alongside Taysom McKenna, Vince Williams on hand, and the entire Maritime Athletic Profiles crew here at Mount St. Vincent University. It's game number 3, 20 minutes in the books. We've had 2 great, highly competitive games earlier in the afternoon and the early evening, but this one between 2 teams that are fighting for the top of the standings. You got the Thunder, who's undefeated, who have been tested at times in the first 4 games, but they're being tested tonight. And then you have the Freeze from New Brunswick, 2-1, trying to up their record to 3-1, and they have given Halifax, despite the score, everything that they can handle, but they just haven't been able to convert on the mistakes committed by the Thunder.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, second half, I had to go get my glasses and put those on so I could really make a decision on whether I felt fouls or travels or travels.
Okay, so we're going to debate about that.
Well,
okay.
yeah, I have to. But you know, the Thunder did a great job at knocking down open shots, right? When the Freeze was making a little bit of a run, Thunder seemed to knock down a really deadly 3 or back-to-back threes. And so I think it was about a 6-point game just before it turned into, you know, I'm terrible at math. What is this, a 9-point game? So they were right there, and I think, you know, a 3 just takes the wind out of your sails a little bit, but the Freeze are right there in it. I'm sure coaches gave them a few tips and tricks here heading out into the second half.
So the Thunder will start with possession. McDonald is out there, the original starting lineup for the Thunder. McDonald, Hat, Collie Legier, nice pass there on the back door as Dunker able to convert, and Kerwin who steps into the starting lineup for the Thunder. As McDonald led the way with 11 points, that's tops of all scores. On the other side, the Freeze was led by Katie Daly. She had 8. And it's the first possession for the Freeze. Unable to convert, a one and done. Katie McAfee's out there to start this third quarter, along with Essen. And Ellen Hatt knocks down a 3. Had a good look from distance, and Ellen Hatt, the Fall River native, former Acadia Axewoman, won a title.
Yeah, that was
with
a little,
Acadia.
Podcast co-host there. So Haley McDonald, again, she's a threat every time she touches the ball, but did a great job finding Ellen on the skip pass on the weak side. Like I said, both of them co-hosting the Now's the Time podcast, where they're highlighting the league and getting voices from different athletes. So I think Rachel Farewell was in the mix there. Jasmine Parent was in there, and I think they have me on next week. I don't know why they picked me, but apparently I give a chance to chat with them. So again, that connection is really neat, but time out here by the Freeze, which I would agree with.
7-0 start this third quarter, forced that timeout as Haley McDonald manufacturing the offense, finding her teammates, and Collie Legier getting into the act offensively as well. How important is it to have a point guard that can facilitate and pretty much see the next move by the teammates that doesn't have the basketball, and you are the one with the basketball?
Oh, it is critical. The point guard is basically trying to think 2 and 3 steps ahead of everything. I was actually saying to someone on the sidelines, having been a point guard myself, trying to take some pictures on the baseline, and I was trying to anticipate what I thought the point guard was going to be doing. So Haley is much different than many point guards, right? She's a scoring point guard. So it's really, really hard to find a point guard that can score at such a high clip but knows exactly when to contribute the ball to her teammates. Again, I would love to play with her. I think I did play with her once in a spring league. She laughed at me quite a bit. I since retired from that, I knew it was time to hang up the shoes.
So coming out of the timeout, the Freeze looking for some resolve here. A 7-0 run to start the quarter by the Thunder. Tumlinier got her shot blocked from behind by Dunker. It will stay with the Freeze. And they'll inbound from the baseline. That's McLeod having a few words in the direction of the coaching staff. Here's Essen. Skip pass, and that goes into the bench. She was trying to find Bailey Black. And not the turnover that they were looking for out of that timeout. McDonald now. Pick and roll, McDonald, straight line drive. Rejection by McLeod, and it will stay with the Thunder.
Yeah, the Freeze need to get some easy buckets, right? Right now, everything, it's a lot of work to get to the rim. So if they can get a couple of steals here and convert that into easy points on the offensive end, I think that'll help them out a little bit. Sorry, I had to stop and watch the nice line of Haley's shot there. You get into the game.
Haley unable to knock it down. One and done for the Thunder. Here's McLeod trying to take Kerwin off the bounce. A little bit of a mismatch in size. McAfee was able to get it down on the baseline, soft touch. Great move and great decision by McLeod.
Yeah, and I was just going to say there, the Kerwin-McLeod matchup, you know, yes, Marley's undersized, but if anyone's had a chance to watch her, she's one of the feistiest defenders in the AUS right now. So you can see her be a little bit scrappy, but a kind soul off the court.
Here's Black, blows by Dunker, loses the handle, and she'll be called for the double dribble. And that'll be turnover number 3 for the Freeze. Beals Ishishemi will come back. Langell will come as well. And Grace Wade also will complete the line shift for the Thunder. McDonald, crossover. McDonald, once again to Dunker. She'll spin. Throw it out to Beals Ishiyemi. 3 coming up, and 3 is pure. Great ball movement and decision as Grace Wade stepped into that 3.
Unbelievable. You know, I'm hoping that the youth that are here watching are picking up on the ball movement that these players are having, right? They're giving up good shots for great shots.
Nice counter there off the drive by Katie McAfee. They need a little bit more of that, but they need a stop down here on the other end. 44-29 is their largest lead for the Thunder. Back-to-back threes goes by the wayside. Can't get it to fall, and Essen trying to find Black on the run out. Probably would have been better to take a few more dribbles through the painted area to see what she had there in transition.
Yeah, just a little bit behind on the play there. I thought maybe even a bounce pass could have threaded the needle there to catch her teammate on the run, but nonetheless, Nicole will make that correction for next time, and I have no doubt she'll convert on the assist.
Here's Langell. She'll try to go to work on McLeod. She'll work it in, spin. Banks no good. Tumwinge, tie up between her and Langell, and possession arrow will favor the Freeze.
Yeah, I can't remember if they played against one another. I feel like maybe for a year or so, but I'm sure that was probably a nice battle to see between SMU and UNB, between those two.
Here's Essen. She'll throw up the 3, and Essen will drop it.
Makes you forget about the turnover real quick, doesn't it?
So the Freeze are countering every push that the Thunder make. The Freeze have an answer, and they needed one as they started this quarter very slow as the Thunder got off to a 7-0 start. Dunker, she'll bank it home. Not sure if that was a shot by Lizzie, but nevertheless, it was a conversion. It will go down as an assist. McLeod, blow by. McLeod, Langell falls, and Langell gets back up to her feet. But what an outstanding move there and patience by McLeod.
Yeah, you know, one of the things I'm picking up here with these athletes is anytime there's a mistake, or you mentioned Laura Langell hitting the floor there, springs right back up. There's no time to hang your head. You have to sprint back on defense. And again, I'm hoping the youth are watching. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake. What are you going to do to change it on the next possession?
Here's McLeod. She'll rip down, McDonald will rip down the rebound. Goes end to end, coast to coast, banks it home.
Little Euro step too, right? Haley plays with a little bit of flair. The fans love it.
All AUS, all Canadian on full display. AUS champion going to return to the fold for the Axe women.
Yeah, I know they're excited to have her back too.
I think the one person that was probably more excited besides Jada Vino and Lizzie was probably Len Harvey.
Yes, Coach Len Harvey, absolutely. You know, I've gotten to know Coach Harvey for quite some time. He gave me an opportunity to coach with the Canada Games team back in 2013, and so he's doing such a great job with how the program has really changed the development of the athletes. You know, for a player to finish, step away for a year, and then say, I want to come back, you have to think Len's doing something great down there, and the community that's surrounding them as well. They have packed gyms all the time, and let me tell you, as a SMU assistant coach, never enjoyed the pots and pans that were right behind you on the bench.
And they definitely will return at Stu Aberdeen Court on the campus of the Acadia Axe women and the Axe men. Full court pressure being applied by the Freeze. Almost forced the turnover. Another 3 attempt, banks it in, and it was not called.
I was gonna say,
as Grace
doesn't
Simpson
count.
knocks down the 3. So she's 2 for 3 in this quarter.
And she had a bit of a smile on her face too, right? She probably knew it's gonna not look too pretty, but 3 points is 3 points.
The result was perfect. And losing the handle on the baseline, it is Grace Wade. And that'll be turnover number 5. So let's see what happens now. Marley Kerwin's in. She'll man the point position. Haley McDonald goes to the bench. This is an opportunity now for the Freeze to try to get a little bit closer with 3:35 remaining here in the third. An opportunity that they need to take advantage of.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's nice for the Thunder to be able to make those changes, right? They still have Grace Wade on the floor. They bring in Marley Kerwin, both of which can score, but I think are a little bit more of a playmaker first. So the defense should adjust to that. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening, right? The shift in momentum, but nonetheless, Grace and Marley, excellent point guards. It'll just be a change of the style to their offensive possession.
Shot is forced there by Bullard. And that goes out of bounds, and an opportunity here for the Freeze. Here's Robbie Daly. Daly on the pick and roll, trying to find Mangold. Last touch by Mangold, as she thought it was off of Langell, but nevertheless it will stay. Oh, there's a correction as the crew chief Brent Stocker steps in and corrects that call by Paul DeBailey on the baseline. It will stay with Fredericton. So Bowers will come back. Essen will sit down. And here's Bowers. Bowers now. Daly for 3. Nope, stepped inside and got a foot on the line, but she converts on the mid-range.
Yeah, the Freeze have to concentrate on stops here. It seems like it's been hovering around a bit of a 14 to 12 point lead for quite some time. Stops on the defensive end like that, and then converting on the offensive end.
Tough pass in transition. It's found and ripped away by Bowers. She's pressured. And now McAfee will go to work. Mangold setting up the screen. McAfee can't get the teardrop to go down. And the Thunder will race back the other way. Beals Ishemi for 3. She'll leave it a little short, and that's the part of the game that Lizzie's been working on.
Yeah, absolutely. Lizzie's so athletic, so her ability to get to the rim, it looks so easy. I know I don't want to step in front of her and try to draw the charge. So, you know, you can see previously people would gap off of her, right, and pack the paint a little bit. But with her time down at Acadia, you can see her developing that range. A miss there, but I think she's shooting with confidence.
So Kali Legier will come in for her. Ellen Hatt was checked back as well. And Catherine Quackenbush is out there as well. Here's Quackenbush.
Yeah, it looks like we got 2 top U Sport 100 women's basketball players of all time on our court here tonight. It's great to see.
Quackenbush, a member of Memorial Seahawks, a native of Halifax, Nova Scotia, 2-time AUS MVP in 2006 and 7, as well as 2007 and 08. And there's Kali Legier throws up the air ball. I've never seen that from Collie Legier and all the years watching her. So that was uncharacteristic there.
Yeah, but I can bet it's probably erased from her memory very quick. Collie Legier's been excellent at any time that there's been an error. You don't see her hanging her head, right? Just changes it. Now it looks like she's almost ready to draw a foul here on the defensive end of things.
That three's no good. Quackenbush with the rebound just to finish up on her accolades. All Canadian, two-time AUS Defensive Player of the Year as well. And, oh, by the way, she does things off the court as well, winning the Student Athlete Community Award in 2006 for her outstanding community, giving back to her community in Memorial over there in Newfoundland and St. John's.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? We can't forget about universities like Memorial, and we can't forget about UPEI either. I think there's a couple of athletes that have played at both of those schools that are playing here in the league. But the hope, again, is really to expand. Can we figure out a way to bring in PEI? Obviously, financial barrier is not as substantial as if Memorial's in the mix. But I really want to acknowledge that our vision is really try to get as many players, high caliber, competitive players playing, at least on this side of the country and beyond. So, you know, shout out to Memorial. We haven't forgotten about you. We just got to get the cost of these tickets down on flights.
That won't go down for Daly. Back the other way comes Collie Legier. As trying to get out of the way there in transition was Daly. She'll pick it up. That three is forced up, unable to get it. The fall was Bowers. Under 5 left in the quarter. 3.9 remaining. As Collie Legier will pick up her second personal and second team foul. Freeze will inbound on the baseline. Mangold, got to get it up. She'll turn, hand it off, and it heaved up, and that's off the glass. And no good as Daly tried to get it off the glass and in, but nevertheless, they'll go to the third, trailing 51 to 38, that is, in reverse. As I almost gave them the lead.
You almost gave the lead. I'm sure they'd like to see that.
I'm pretty sure the fans at home in New Brunswick for Fredericton were pretty excited to hear that, but nevertheless, they still have some work to do. 10 minutes, but this is not lost. All is not lost here. You go on a little bit of a run to start, but the first 5 minutes is very critical for this team.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like the possession arrow is actually in the Freeze's favor. So curious to know what will be drawn up by the coaching staff to give them a nice clean look. It doesn't have to be a 3. I think one thing that tends to happen when teams are down going into the fourth quarter, panic. We need to make it all back up really quickly, and that's not how it works, right? You just chip away 1 point, 2 points at a time. The hope is that you can get it into a 2-possession game in the last 3 minutes, and then it's really a matter of intelligence when it comes to basketball, right? What plays are you trying to run? Who are you looking to take the shots? Where are they taking those shots from? Who can make the least amount of mistakes in those moments are likely going to be the team that wins the game. So, you know, I think Thunder has the intelligence out there to weather any storm that comes from the Freeze, but I believe the Freeze, if they're a little bit more meticulous with how they're with their approach to scoring, again, I think they'll be just fine. This has been the deficit for quite some time now, so what do they drop here? Hopefully they get an easy look, and then it's just about getting stops and converting on the offensive end.
So the Freeze will start with possession in this fourth quarter, and they will go with Arsenal, and it looks like Katie Daly's out there as well. Robbie Daly's out there. Mangold and Grace Simpson.
Tried for the elevator screen, wanted a Robbie Daly 3, it looks like, but Thunder played great defense.
Here's Daly. She'll force up the 3, throws up the air ball, didn't have any time or space, but had some time on the shot clock.
Yeah, it looked like there was still 8 on the shot clock, and that's one of those things when we talk about don't panic. 8 is so long. Can you set a ball screen, flatten out the defense perhaps, and look to attack one-on-one? So again, it's just settling into what you're trying to do and not panicking in those moments.
McDonald swings it to Vino for 3.
Lucky that didn't go.
That won't go down. That was chased down by Simpson. And here comes Arsenault. Arsenault now. Trying to dribble handoff to Daly. Good defense there by Vino. Daly off the glass, no good. Dunker, she'll clear the path. Stolen by Arsenault, but Jada able to make up for it. Was able to block Arsenault. It will stay with the freeze as McAfee will come in along with McLeod. So Mangold will sit down. Daly will sit down. And McAfee, the leading scorer for the freeze at 16 points per game. As Arsenault is fouled, she'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, got to convert the 2 points here.
So Hatt will be called for the personal. That's her first.
Ellen Hatt, I got to give a big shout out to her. She works with Sport and Entertainment Atlantic, who has been the lead on all of our sponsorship. And really, Ellen made that connection, connected us with Chris Larson. So I just want to acknowledge Sport and Entertainment Atlantic and everything that they've done to help our league get to where it is. And again, all the other sponsors involved as well. But kudos to Ellen. I think she was perhaps a summer intern at the time when she reached out and said, you know, let's chat. So good for her.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to meet Ellen at the U Sports Men's Hockey Championships in Wolfville most recently. And I was like, I remember calling you a few games, in particular the championship game. You're part of my demo reel. Here's McDonald. Pocket pass there to Vito. Excuse me, that is Quackenbush. She gets dumped to the floor, and Catherine will go to the line to shoot a pair. But there's that McDonald factor once again. The great patience. She knew she was getting double, but she knew she had help late, and that run rim to rim by Dunker. Excuse me, Quackenbush.
Yeah.
As Dunker checks back into the game.
Yeah, Quackenbush, rim running, right? She probably has known how to do that for quite some time. But the patience that Haley has, right, it's really impressive. When you think about, you know, all eyes on her, the defense is loaded up. A lot of point guards would panic in that situation, but her body mannerisms, her facial expressions, the way she communicates with her team, always, always very calm. The only time you really see an expression of emotion is when she knocks down the three and gets the and one, you see even more of that. So her expression of emotion is always so positive, and it kind of passes in through the rest of her team. But in sticky situations, calm as a cucumber.
As Grace Simpson converts down the other end, look out. The lead's down to 9. Big three coming up by McDonald. Can't get it to fall, and crashing the boards hard was Dunker. Good box out there by McLeod.
Yeah, the freezer slowly chipping away. Still, again, no need to panic, no need to look for threes. The more pressure they put on, the more the Thunder has to readjust and try not to panic, right? So it seems as though momentum's in the Freeze's favor right now.
Simpson stumbles, able to retain possession. Here's McLeod. McLeod on the drive, and McLeod is bumped by Hatt, and she'll go to the line to shoot 2. Great decision there by McLeod. Good ball fake as she faked the handoff and went straight to the rim.
Yeah, now the Thunder has to do a better job of just keeping their hands off, contest or challenge the shot at the rim. Good thing it didn't go in, and clearly she's just missed her first free throw, but again, the Thunder don't want to see the game slow down. The time is on their side, and they want to make sure that they're maintaining control of that.
So McLeod will go 1 for 2. Leads down to 8. Here's Wade. She'll swing it over to McDonald. Good catch there. Baseline, Vino. Good ball movement. Vino for 3. Big one coming up. Left it short. And the Freeze dodge a bullet. 1-on-2 is McAfee. Splits the D. She's blocked from behind by Vino. An ill-advised attempt there in transition by McAfee. Hatt for 3. Hatt can't get it to fall, but Vino chases it down. Vino, she'll get inside. Three ball coming up. Can't get it to go down, and once again, the Freeze dodge a couple bullets on that sequence. McAfee pushing the issue, and she'll get fouled this time.
Yeah.
And now she'll go to the line to shoot two.
You know, I'm watching the Thunder, and you'd said earlier, great ball movement. And for anyone watching at home, I think it went around the horn and across the baseline, almost 2 full rotations. I know Jada missed the shot, but it was the right shot to take. So again, I keep going back to the youth that are watching. You don't have to dribble to make decisions. You can move the ball and move the ball quickly and set your teammates up for excellent shot attempts.
So timeout called by the Thunder. If you're Coach Parker Regan, you had double-digit leads throughout this game. You pushed it up to close to 16, 14, and 12 points, but this Freeze team has been resilient. Some timely timeouts called by Coach Bowers and some timely stops, but some ill-advised possessions as well offensively, really pushing the issue when they really didn't need to, as they should have just been patient and got into their half-court set where they've been very efficient in doing so.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's one of those moments where both teams are trying to force the other team to play to their style. So I'm looking over at the Thunder. They have excellent ball movements. I think they just missed 3 threes. It doesn't mean that you stop taking them. I think that the threes that they're taking are wide open, uncontested, but they do have to start looking at the clock, right? How early in the shot clock am I taking this shot attempt? And then on the Freeze side, I think they keep attacking the way that they are. Again, they don't have to settle for threes. They're chipping away at it. They're getting themselves to the foul line. So the Thunder, once again, got to keep their hands off and just contest at the rim. They have so much length and athleticism on the team that they don't really have to create that contact the way that they are right now.
McAfee hits the first of 2, and that's a debate in both women's and men's basketball. Is there too many threes involved in the game? Are we settling for too many threes instead of trying to get the ball inside the paint and use the mid-range?
Yeah, you know what? It's the mid-range is up for debate, I would say. I think that the older generation has a lot of mid-range. I know I played off some one-roll pull-ups around the free throw line. I still preferred shooting the 3. It just it's more points, more excitement. But you know what? I think that we shouldn't take away those skill sets, right? It's one thing that we can finish at the rim, we can knock down threes, but there's so many other things to the game. There's up and unders. There's, you know, the Steve Nash moves. There's the Euro moves. There's floaters. So the mid-range isn't out of commission necessarily. It's just a matter of who's taking the shot and when am I taking the shot. And where are my rebounders as well.
Absolutely. Tumwinier unable to knock down the 3. McDonald trying to make her pay on the other end. Haley can't get it to fall. It's gone a little bit cold from beyond the arc. Langell with the follow-up, and fighting for the rebound is Kali Legier and Tumwinier. And it looks like there'll be maybe a foul. No, it'll be a possession arrow, and it will favor the Thunder. Wade will inbound. Here's McDonald. And Essen is right up in the grill of McDonald. And a little bit of feistiness there by Haley, trying to get Essen off her. And it looks like Essen will pick up the personal. And I think that's probably the right call.
Yeah, you know, I'm guessing that the Freeze are looking at it, you know, was Haley a little bit aggressive on the rip through? I can't make that call. I'm not an official, but it does go to, you know, maybe a little bit different to what I would expect from Haley, but they're competitive. They're competitive players, and so she felt the defender was in her space, and she's creating the space. Again, unsure of whether the call was correct or not. Hopefully everybody's okay out there and just play on.
So a tie up there, and there was a possession here, so it must have been stepped on the end line on that previous possession, but nevertheless, the Freeze get caught napping as McDonald with an easy bucket on the inbound.
Yeah, Freeze fell asleep there a little bit. You just can't do that when there's a stop in possession. You have time to set up your defense and cover everything.
Rebound by the Thunder as McLeod will pick up the foul. She wanted a traveling call on Lizzie. None coming, but the fouls are starting to pile up on both sides. Just at the midway point here, the Thunder lead at 54-46. Here's McDonald. She'll bring it over the timeline. Langell swings it to Kali Legier. On the drive. Can't get it to go down. Raso back the other way. Here comes Daly. Daly waits and Daly banks it home. Outstanding patience there by Daly. She waited out Lizzie on the flyby.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm probably not taking that shot. Lizzie's probably going to block me. So, you know, I appreciate Katie's patience on that. Looked comfortable with what she was doing. And she also had her teammate on the weak side, Nicole, as well, if she wanted to do a little bounce pass off to her.
So 4:23 remaining in regulation. We got a 2-possession game here. Multiple substitutions by the Thunder. Dunker will come in. Kerwin will step back on the court. Hat's out there as well. Here's McAfee. Daly to McLeod. Spins, and that just spun out off the rim. Was able to get the drop step on Langell, but couldn't convert. Kerwin splits the D. McDonald waits. Back to McDonald. She'll fire for 3. Bang! And that's a huge three by Haley McDonald. And
you knew one was going to fall. You knew one was going to fall. I know you said she went cold, but Haley just forgets, right? Right onto the next shot, and that's a good shot for her.
Huge three by McDonald. And McAfee once again getting to the rim. She'll force the issue, and she'll go to the line to shoot 2. So Hat will be called for the personal. McDonald providing that little bit of a breathing space, but good decision by Katie to come back the other way, get back to the stripe, but you gotta make free throws.
You got to. You know, I don't have the stat in front of me, but I think they've left quite a few this half and in the first half at the line. And, you know, you don't want to look back at the score and say, you know, we missed 6 free throws and, you know, lost by 6 as well. So good shot there, though. But I was just going to say, I'm looking forward to seeing when the freeze might extend to a bit of a pressure defense. But again, Thunder just has so many point guards and so many people that can handle the ball that, you know, pressure defense might not work in your favor, but we'll see.
Kerwin to McDonald, looking for back-to-back triples. Can't get it to go down. As you can see, Parker Regan, he wanted to fall. He's got some body English. Trying to coast it into the basket.
Yeah, just like when you're bowling, you gotta lean and hope it doesn't go in the gutter. Big shot.
That's a 2 as McLeod had a foot on the line. Full court pressure being applied. Here's Kerwin, baseline. She's cut off. Quickly swung over to McDonald. She'll get it down to Langell.
It's like Freeze have gone into a bit of a zone here too, which leaves open a few gaps on the perimeter. Laura's pretty comfortable playing into the high post there, so it's nice to see the Thunder just adjusting regardless of the defense that's thrown their way.
Great decision by Kerwin off the quick ball movement. She'll cut through the defense and convert. Here's McLeod with the pull-up. Lost Langell. Offensive rebound and a tie-up by McDonald. He seems to be everywhere on the court right now. As Langell will go to the bench, Kali Legier will check back in. And Grace Simpson will step back onto the court for the freeze. So a timeout on the floor. And Freeze will take it with 2:31 remaining in an 8-point lead. And with possession of the basketball out of this timeout. If you're head coach Leah Bowers and her staff, now I'm going to tap into your coach skills and your X's and O's.
Let's see how this goes.
What are you drawing up here?
You know what? I feel as though, again, I'd be looking for easy buckets. I don't think that they have as many three-point shooters as the Thunder do. So I don't want it to settle into something where it's like elevator screen, we got to get a wide open look. I think the Thunder's just extending their defense a bit too much. I'd probably go back to McLeod. She seems to be having a pretty big impact. And again, defensive matchup on her. Do you put a guard on her or do you put a big on her, right? She's pretty good on the perimeter and pretty good around the paint. She's missed a couple around the rim. Might have been a bit of contact in there, but I think I'm going back to Emily McLeod.
So let's just see what they draw up out of this. The most important part of this inbound is actually getting the ball inbounds.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 2:31 remaining here in regulation. The Thunder leading at 59-51 alongside Taysom McKenna. Vince Williams on hand. Great crowd here in this finale of some great basketball this afternoon and into the evening here at Mount St. Vincent University. McLeod for three. Couldn't get it to go down, left it short at the rim, just as you called it.
Yep.
McDonald, she'll swing it over to Collie Legier. Back to McDonald. She'll put up the three, and she is fouled in the act of shooting by Essen, and that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking in my head that I might switch to matchup defense here. They were still in a zone, which again, it just gives so much time for the Thunder to just make decisions, right? They're able to see the court really well. They're able to swing the ball around the perimeter, use the time, because time is on their side right now. So I'll be curious to know if the Freeze switch out of their zone and match up with some person-to-person defense out here.
So that's the fourth personal committed by Nicole Essen. And Haley McDonald makes her pay. She knocks all three free throws down. So the lead up to 9.
Yeah, now you got to play quick. You are probably looking to get to the free throw line, as Essen's about to do here. Gonna have to extend your defense a little bit.
So Hatt will be called for the personal. So Beal Ziziemi will come back for Hatt. Very important free throws coming up here for Essen. She'll knock down the first. And no problem with the second. Full court pressure being applied by the Freeze. Quickly broken there by Collie Legier over the Kerwin. Kerwin now. Quickly over to Collie Legier. Step back pull up. Left it a little short. Chased down by Kerwin. Second chance coming up.
Freeze look like they're still in a zone out here as well.
Kerwin for three. Big three. Throws up the air ball. And the Freeze dodge a bullet. The run out. Knocked away. Picked up by McAfee. McLeod. Over the Simpson. Simpson trying to back down. Kerwin, and she threw it away as that was a tough pass to catch on the baseline by McAfee.
Got to pick up the pressure here a little bit more. Probably starting to look to the old foul game, unless the Freeze have settled in and accepted a loss.
McDonald trying to force the issue. Bang, and that should sue it right there.
Game over.
The dagger McDonald knocks back-to-back threes, and that should do it.
Yeah, as a defense, you have to know where she is at all times. She's really good at finding great position, and her teammates are always looking for her, right? And I've never seen a time where Haley's not ready to catch and shoot. So defensively, you know, you can't leave her open. I think she's made 2 big threes here in the fourth quarter that, you know, have helped put them in this position to have a pretty comfortable win.
Hit 2 of them and then was fouled on a three-point attempt and knocked down all 3 free throws. Beal Ziziemi can't get that to fall. Daly come up with the rebound, and she's being deplored to push the basketball. Here's McAfee. She'll lose the handle, knocked away, and Kerwin will bring it over the timeline. Shot clock is off. They don't need to shoot. And the Thunder will dribble this one out.
Yeah, it looked like the Freeze just lost a little bit of momentum down the stretch. I think they had it down to as close as 6 or 5. And then the Thunder, again, you have players on that team that are so disciplined, so knowledgeable of the game, and so many scoring weapons that you just have to be disciplined defensively for the Freeze to make sure every possession you're contesting the shot, and when you contest the shot and they miss, you have to secure the defensive rebound and push it in transition, and that just didn't happen.
So the Thunder, they get it done. They win their 5th game. As of many at the start, they are still undefeated, 65-53, but a highly contested matchup, the first matchup between these two teams, and we might see this matchup down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, as a fan, I love it. I think as a player, you love it too, right? No one wants to play a game or multiple games where you're winning by large margins. So, I think the game could have been a little bit closer than what the score clock indicates. But again, as fans, it was something that we love to see. As athletes, they wanted to play in a competitive league, and that's what we got here on the court tonight.
So that'll wrap it up. Game number 3 in the books. Some highly contested games in the afternoon into the evening, 3 of them, and we'll do it all again tomorrow morning. And the tip-off will be 11 a.m., 1 p.m., and 3 p.m. will be the final game of this showcase weekend.
Yes, absolutely. And while I'm here, I'm going to give a shout out to my aunt, who's in Mississauga. She's not a big basketball fan, but she's watched every game, and I just really appreciate that. And then to my parents who were here watching and then ducked out to go back and I think listen to my voice on the call. So again, I know there's so many people that I know that are watching, but to everyone that's watching online that's connected to a player, to a coach, to a volunteer, we appreciate you, and just stay active on social media and help us to increase the visibility of the league.
And that'll do it. It's been a pleasure.
It's been great.
Happy to have you alongside, and along with Gail Rice, who did a couple games earlier.
Yeah.
And like I said, you got a future in this if you decide you want to go in the next level.
We'll see. I got to go hand out these awards.
So Taysa will go hand out the player. The Fredericton Freeze, double duty is Taysa McKenna. And for the Thunder, so Grace Wade will be the player of the game for the Halifax Thunder as they get their 5th win on the season. They are still undefeated and go for number 6 tomorrow afternoon. So that'll do it for the broadcast here, and for my 2 broadcast partners, Gail Rice and Taysa McKenna, and my producer, Clark Swim, and director, Tyler Deacon. I'm Vince Williams saying thank you for watching the MWBA Showcase Weekend, day number 1, but day number 2 will be tomorrow, and all the action will be here on Maritime Athletic Profiles. Standing by with the player of the game for the Halifax Thunder, Grace Wade. Congratulations on your 5th win. You're still undefeated.
Thank you.
Coming into this game, this is the first matchup between you and the Freeze. What was the mindset brought down by head coach and the mindset of the team coming into this game? Because this was going to be a matchup where a little bit of the unknown, but one that the players on the other side, what they bring to the forefront, and you knew it was going to be a tough game to play.
Yep, they've got a really deep team with a lot of really solid players, so we knew they were going to go on runs, and it was just really about playing our game, and when they do go on runs, just responding appropriately and not letting it, dictate the game for as long as it has any longer than it needed to.
And your contribution to this game, you have a lot of great players around you, players that you probably looked up to and try to
Definitely.
emulate when you were a younger player coming up through the ranks. Speak about how important is it to learn from those players in practice and throughout the game.
Yeah, definitely. We've been practicing and having open gyms for months now, and I think that's been one of our biggest advantages has been playing against each other in practice. Like there's every single one of those players was an AUS All-Star, was an MVP, and has so much basketball knowledge that playing against them in practice and getting to hear them share, their thoughts on each play, and it brings a different perspective too. We all played on different teams, so there's different perspective from each team that's being brought together too, which has been, I think, really valuable as well. So we're just trying to keep learning.
And you talked about the learning and those perspectives. You got another game. It's not much time. This is a showcase weekends where you're playing back-to-back games, but it's almost like being at a championship. Like, for instance, the AUS championships. How important is it to have that leg time in between and getting your body right and your mind right, knowing that you're going to have to compete again tomorrow afternoon?
Definitely. I mean, we're certainly, a lot of us, not as nimble as we once were, so it's super important for us to be, icing what needs to be iced and resting what needs to be rest and coming in tomorrow. And because, in day two of, tournaments like this, that a lot of times that's what it comes down to, is who still has legs in the second day. So it's going to be important for us tonight.
And lastly, we started this interview. Before we started this interview, you were signing an autograph, although it was for your aunt.
Yes.
And there's lots of young basketball players around, young, female basketball players. How important is this league showing those young female basketball players that there is a future for them?
Yeah.
That after they're finished playing, either at the university level, either at the pro level, even at the high school level, that there's an opportunity, that there's a pro league now for you.
Oh, I think it's huge. And I saw a bunch of the players out there today in the stands with binders and, taking notes and whatever, and that's huge. They can be learning. It's just another chance for them to learn from female basketball players, and I wish that we had something like this when I was that age to be able to come watch and look up to. It's exciting. I mean, the atmosphere in the gym is fun. It's great.
Congratulations, Grace. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
Good luck the rest of the way. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks.
Grace Wade, the player of the game here, the Halifax Thunder, they get it done. They go 5-0, and they'll have an opportunity to go 6-0 tomorrow afternoon.
Women compete.
Yes, it's mine too.
And what do you think about watching these women compete, knowing that these are players that have done some great things in basketball at the collegiate level, at the high school level, and at the pro level? When you watch them, what are you looking for in regards to trying to emulate some of these women?
I'm definitely watching for things that I can apply to my game, and just so I can improve as a player and take some stuff from this game and put it into my game.
I look for what the people that play my position do, and I try to apply it to my game.
And how important is it to watch these women compete at this level, knowing that they did those things, and you needed to actually watch them and say, okay, well, there's something that I didn't see before that maybe I can practice and get better at. How important is it to get those skills and get those mannerisms?
I think it's super important just to be always trying to improve your game, knowing that they've gone and done all these things. It's really amazing to watch their skill.
It just shows that hard work can get you to a lot of higher things, and it just shows that there's another goal that you can try to get.
And thinking about hard work and goals. Congratulations, you guys are members of Team Nova Scotia, under 15. You're going to the Nationals. How exciting was it to hear your name or see your name or get the call from the coaching staff knowing that you made the team? What was it like? What were the emotions when you got that call?
I was really excited to be able to play for my province.
I was really excited because it's a goal I've been working towards like ever since I started playing basketball.
And what do you think is going to happen at the national level?
I think we're going to win.
Yeah, I think we're going to medal.
So you're looking at gold medal or just a medal period?
Gold medal.
Gold medal.
Well, you heard it first here on Maritime Athletic Profiles. Two young ladies, up-and-coming stars, playing for Team Nova Scotia, and they will look to win the gold medal. So make sure you join us tomorrow afternoon, actually tomorrow morning, when we get started here on Maritime Athletic Profiles at 11 a.m. in the final day of this MWBA weekend showcase here at Mount St. Vincent University. Thanks, guys.